What's up, kings and queens? It's your boy Dan from Daft Previews. We've got a juicy slate on the NBA today. I'm going to take you through 2 picks and 1 2-man parlay. If that sounds interesting, let's go.
Sub to the channel cause your boy's getting busy. Coming to you live from the west side of Sydney. We've got the free picks and the juice and the daily. It's all free, you don't even have to pay me.
Before we jump into the picks, quick recap on yesterday. 1-on-1 and the picks that I shared. Herb Jones got ruled out, thank God, because Zion got ruled out too. Herb Jones is very dependent on Zion playing. Nikola Vucevic, he lets us down. He only finished with 2 assists. He was too busy dominating points and rebounds to even consider passing the ball to anybody else. So it was always going to be a risky play anyway. High upside at great odds. Didn't happen today. And the last one was Jalen Brunson, my favorite player of the day. Comes through relatively sweat-free. So it was okay with the picks I shared on the tube. Personally, not too good. Had my guts rearranged. Frustrating last couple of days. So hoping today's the day we turn it around. So let's talk about these picks. I've got 2 straight picks to share with you. And I've got a 2-man parlay that I'm putting together. Then, if time permits, I'll even go through the slate and tell you some things that look good, in my opinion, but ones I haven't bet as of yet. So let's talk about these plays first, though. The first one, we're heading to the Orlando Magic versus the Boston Celtics, taking a similar angle that we took Jalen Brunson on yesterday. Betting on Jaylen Brown to go over his points prop. Now, I caught this at 26.5. 27.5 right now is at plus money. I still think it's worth it. I personally think a 30 ball could be on the table here for Jalen Brunson. Not Jalen Brunson. Jaylen Brown. Pretty much, it's a system play. When I look at the Orlando Magic and they're playing, I'm looking at high usage guards and wings who can attack the basket, score in isolation, because the Orlando Magic are going to let that happen. The Orlando Magic don't double. They don't send help. They stick to their players. They limit spot-up shooting, and they funnel you into the paint. It all really suits Jaylen Brown. If we look at his numbers on the season, he's over this line in 8 out of 16 games, averaging 27.4. 2 games against the Orlando Magic so far this season. 32 points from 28 shots, then 27 points from 24 shots. The whole thing we're targeting here is volume. The way the Orlando Magic play defense is going to force someone like a Jaylen Brown to take a whole lot of shots. Variance is the key risky. If he shoots like shit, it's out of my hands. But if he does take a lot of shots, if he's taking 20-plus shots here, I really do like our chances to get 27.5. We've got a 4.5-point spread. The Orlando Magic are on a back-to-back. I think it's their 3rd game in 4 days. They're probably going to be a little bit tired. Jaylen Brown hasn't played in a couple of days, so hopefully he takes full advantage for that. So system play here, Jaylen Brown to absolutely eat up the Orlando Magic. Not overly exciting, I get it, but yeah, it makes sense. It hasn't lost yet this season, these system plays. I think it's 6 straight wins we've had against the Orlando Magic. Now, the next play that I've got is a little bit more risque, not like Nikola Vucevic, but still risky in a sense, because it's on Evan Mobley. And I personally fucking hate betting on Evan Mobley, but when the system says bet it, then you go ahead and bet it. So what are we talking about here? We've got Evan Mobley versus the Los Angeles Clippers. The system here is basically to look at any centers they play up against. If they're capable of shooting threes, have a crack at their threes, right? This Los Angeles Clippers team, they allow the 3rd most 3-pointers made to centers so far this season. They also allow them to shoot the 4th highest percentage in the league, and that's because they're wide open. Los Angeles Clippers are going to be running Zubats or Brook Lopez at the center spot at any point in this game. They're not going to go any smaller than that. Those 2 guys are always patrolling the paint. They're looking to protect the basket, and they're leaving shit wide open above the break. We can see here the Clippers allow the most points above the break in the league. But now when you're looking at Evan Mobley, not the best 3-point shooter. He's only at this line in 6 out of 16 games this season, averaging 4.4 attempts. But I will say, earlier in the season, he was letting that shit fly a lot more than he has been lately. But at the same time, hasn't necessarily seen the best matchups to take high volume. I think this is the matchup. It's a good get-right spot. This is also at extreme plus money. I got this at plus 130 or something like that. So taking a crack here at some plus money bangers. Evan Mobley doesn't typically play the 5, but Jared Allen's out. No Jared Allen. Evan Mobley's going to get more minutes. He's going to get all his minutes at the 5 spot as well. And it means he's going to be defended by Zubats or Brook Lopez the majority of this game, which means he's going to be left open above the break. He'd be foolish not to take those shots. So 2 threes for Evan Mobley at plus money. This is a risky play, but hey, at plus money, I'm not overly concerned about hit rate. Like if you hit enough plus money plays over time, you're going to make profit anyway. So Evan Mobley to make 2 3-pointers against the Clippers makes a ton of sense to me. I personally hate betting on fucking Evan Mobley. He pisses me off because he's a cat sometimes, but it is what it is. Great matchup. He's a capable shooter. I don't want to get too emotional about my feelings about him. Remove the emotions. Looks like a good play in my opinion. So they're the 2 straight picks that I have down already. Now let's talk about this 2-man parlay. So the reason why I'm taking it as a 2-man parlay, because I like the looks of both of these players. It's just the odds are a bit juiced, and to really get some value out of it, you need to bet like 1.5 units or something. And I don't want to sacrifice the bankroll like that. So putting these 2 guys together, playing them at half a unit, you get about 0.8 or 0.9 units back. So it's a decent look here, but you do run the risk of 2 men having to perform the way you expect them to. So the first one is RJ Barrett. I'm taking him over 3.5 assists. Now, the last time he played the Brooklyn Nets, I also took his assist prop, but I laddered it up to 6. He managed to finish on 6 assists in that particular game. So it did cash. The read was right then. Hopefully it's right once again, because this is another system play that I've been running against the Brooklyn Nets. And I've said this many times before on this channel. The Brooklyn Nets apply a whole lot of pressure to point guards. They blitz in pick and rolls. They pick them up at full court. They do whatever they can to get the ball out of the point guard's hands, which means secondary playmakers often tend to get a lot more assists against them. RJ Barrett was that guy the last time they matched up. He finished with more assists. He had 6 assists, whereas Emmanuel Quickly, despite being the point guard in that team, only had 5 assists. It was his 3rd lowest total of the season. And it's not because the Brooklyn Nets play great defense. It's just the way they play defense gets the ball out of the point guard's hands and limits their ability to create for others. Whereas if they do that blitzing stuff, if he feeds the ball to RJ Barrett, then RJ Barrett could potentially be going 4-on-3, mismatch of numbers, easy assists can come that way. So we're asking for 4 assists here for RJ Barrett. He's covered this in 11 out of 16 games so far this season. And look at this hit rate as of late. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 out of his last 10 games, he's had 4 assists. So the hit rate's great. The matchup makes perfect sense. He gets all his assists, not all of them, but the majority of his assists under the basket. The Nets allow the 5th most league in the 5th most assists in the league, 8th most under the basket, 6th most seized position. They got the 2nd worst defensive rating. What else do you need to know? The matchup is great. The way they play defense is going to funnel the ball to RJ Barrett. Hopefully he doesn't score 40 today, because if he scores 40, he's probably not going to get 4 assists, but 4 assists feels like light work for RJ Barrett in this. And the second leg I'm combining to RJ Barrett is none other than Le Sunshine James. Where the hell is he? Where's the king? LeBron James, and I'm taking him over 6.5 assists. Now, he's only played 1 game this season against the Utah Jazz, and he had 20 potential assists in 30 minutes. He finished with 12 assists in this game, and he's up against the Utah Jazz again. The Lakers won that last game by 14. LeBron should play close to about 30 minutes once again. And yeah, he's capable of scoring probably whenever he likes, but as somebody who's played basketball for a very long time. Clearly, I'm not a professional. I make fucking YouTube videos. But as someone who plays basketball multiple times per week in relatively competitive leagues, as I've gotten older, the same way LeBron is, it's so much easier to play basketball if you're the person playmaking. It takes out a lot of energy to put up shots, to make layups, and put your body through all that risk. It's so much easier being the playmaker. And I think LeBron, in the way that this Lakers team's been operating without him, is happily going to sit in that playmaking role. Let Luka, let Austin Reeves carry. Pick your spots when you choose to exert yourself. But keep playmaking, my boy. It's the easiest part of the game. He's definitely smart enough. He's talented enough. He's got a size advantage at his position. He sees the floor very well. And he's also got a cupcake matchup here, right? The Utah Jazz, they give it the most assists in the league, the most assists to his position. They get absolutely murdered on the perimeter. LeBron James should be able to find whoever he wants to get us 7 assists. We're asking for 6.5. He got 12 last time. Hopefully the stat man is looking for another double-double, because if he gets that double-double, then it's easy money, right? So going LeBron James, over 6.5, parlaying that with RJ Barrett together, it's about plus 190 or something like that. And I've got half a unit on it. So complete transparency of the bets that I have down as we speak. Now, let's quickly flick through these games. I personally haven't done too much of a deep dive into them. I kind of went like, instead of going through every single game trying to find what I like, it was more like, how about I just focus on my system? Because the system's been performing well. Doesn't take as much time to do. They're performing better, and lines are always moving. Injury reports can be a little bit chaotic. Don't need to jump the gun on those. So let me flick through each game anyway, and I'll tell you what stands out to me already just by looking at the line. So one thing that did stand out to me was Paul George and his rebounds. Rebounds line's at 4.5. He's had 7 and 5 in the 2 games he's played. He's projected for 27 minutes today, which is a little bit more than he saw against Milwaukee. And he's also up against the Miami Heat. So it's a fast-paced game. There should be tons of rebound opportunities. I think Paul George should get 5 boards. Should be pretty easy for him, to be honest. So like Paul George should get boards in this game. Outside of that, as I look through, none of these players get me particularly excited. Or maybe Simona Fontecchio. So in his last game against the Bulls, he was 3 from 12, 1 from 10 from deep. So this could be a good bounce back spot against Philadelphia. And I know intimately how bad he played in that last game because I bet on him and he fucking sucked. So Simone Fontecchio could be due for a bounce back here against Philly. The other one, because there's no Joel Embiid, could be Khalil Ware to get some rebounds. Yeah, he's been rebounding out of his mind. Bam Adebayo's back, but even with Bam Adebayo back in the lineup, Khalil Ware's been beasting it. He's still getting a decent share of minutes. Centers have been feasting on the 76ers with Joel Embiid out of the lineup. I think I mentioned this before, so this could be a different type of system, I guess. But Khalil Ware, he's got my attention, but I think the minutes are the only concern for me with Bam being back. I think the more games Bam plays, the more minutes Bam sees. But Khalil Ware at the moment is projected for 28 minutes, which is nice. He played 28 minutes in his last game with Bam back. So Bam's been back for 2 games now, and he had 16 and 14 rebounds. But I will say, but those matchups were really good. The Warriors is a great matchup. The Bulls is a great matchup. 76ers 10th fewest rebounds allowed to the center spot so far this season. But yeah, without Embiid, they've been a little bit vulnerable. As of late, you can see here a lot of strong rebounding numbers. Even Miles Turner got 10 rebounds against them. Can you believe that? Miles Turner. So Khalil Ware to get 10 rebounds. Probably another thing that fits under my system. And if he's going to play that many minutes, I like it. Khalil Ware, get some boards. Hornets versus the Hawks. Jalen Johnson cooked me in that last game. Didn't get his PRA because he only scored 3 points in the second half. 15 points at halftime. Finishes the game with 18. Unbelievable way to hook us there. Maybe this is rigged. It's been rigged the whole time. No, I don't want to get into that. But Jalen Johnson to go over his PRA. He should have a strong game here. Good matchup here against the Hornets. Fast-paced game. They are on a back-to-back, though, but at the same time, he only played 34 minutes in that last game where he normally plays close to 40. So if Jalen Johnson sees his full set of minutes, then he could have a strong game from his whole PRA. LaMelo Ball, rebounds and assists. Had severe foul trouble against the Clippers. He only played 25 minutes when he was projected for 30. He's projected for the same here against the Hawks, but this is one that I'm waiting to see where the line finishes up because this was at 13.5. It's been bet down to 12.5. If it continues to move, then the over could be a good option for LaMelo Ball. Don't hate that one whatsoever. But outside of that, the Atlanta Hawks are a pretty good defensive team. Orlando versus Celtics. Already betting on Jaylen Brown. What else do we have? France had a great game against the Knicks today. 27 and 20 his last 2 games against the Celtics. Wouldn't be surprised if France just rolls in and continues to do what he does. But yeah, nothing. Actually, one other system. It's not even a system play. This is just a trend I've noticed. I don't want to oversay system because not everything is a system. Is Wendell Carter Jr. threes. 2 threes against the Boston Celtics. He's hit this twice already this season. Plus 190. So pretty decent odds here for Wendell Carter Jr. But at the same time, this has been over plus 200 multiple times this season. So I will call that out. But Wendell Carter Jr. make 2 3-pointers against the Boston Celtics. That's a great plus money play, I must say. He's hit it both times. The Boston Celtics prioritize defending the paint, so they get smoked from the perimeter by centers specifically. So it's a decent matchup here for Wendell Carter Jr. Could make 2 threes. Clippers, Cavs. Already got the bet on Mobley. James Harden went crazy yesterday. 55 points up against the Cavs now on a back-to-back. Now, James Harden on back-to-backs. You can see this is a Props Madness feature. They let you know with these dots, the back-to-back sets. So his first back-to-back was against OKC. Finished with 25 points. Didn't shoot the best, but still hit 25. Then he played Philly, scored 28, shot horribly, 28% from the field. So in back-to-back sets, his efficiency does drop off, but his volume doesn't seem to change. So he's not scared to keep letting it go. James Harden could have another strong game here, especially when it comes to scoring the ball. But one thing to keep in mind, Kawhi Leonard, I think he's probable to be back. So with Kawhi Leonard, you might second guess that James Harden look. If anything, you might even want to consider an under. Let's have a look. James Harden with Kawhi Leonard, he's averaging 23 points. He's over this line in 2 games. Blowout win against the Phoenix Suns and a great fast-paced matchup here against the Miami Heat. Outside of that, all the other games he has gone under. So the under for James Harden could be a look. If you're feeling adventurous. Brooklyn Nets versus the Raptors. Man, the Raptors team, again, anybody could do it on any given day, but I would not be surprised if Scotty Barnes smashes his rebound prop here today. Over 8.5 boards. Even give me 10 rebounds. I think Scotty Barnes can get there. He had only 5 rebounds in his last game against Washington. It was bloody disgusting effort from Scotty. I bet he's over in rebounds, I must say. But this is a nice bounce back spot for him. They give it the most rebounds to his position. He had 11 rebounds against the Brooklyn Nets last time. The Raptors are expected to win this game. Yeah, Scotty Barnes gets some rebounds. I like the look of that. For Brooklyn, let's have a look at MPJ. So last time you played them, he had 21 points. He was 5 for 14. They limited him to 14 shots. He had 3 assists and only 6 rebounds. So Michael Porter Jr. sucked the last time he played the Toronto Raptors, pretty much. This could be a game where he bounces back, covers all his lines, covers his PRA. I just want to see what his line was. So despite the poor performance in his last game against the Raptors, his PRA line is 3 points, rebounds, and assists higher in this game compared to the others. So the books are expecting him to be better. We've got the Blazers versus the Thunder. Thought process here. SGA, I was thinking, yeah, he should score some points here. This game could be close. And I'm like, the 15.5 point spread. The Portland Trail Blazers missing a couple bodies at the moment. Holiday's still out. Shaden Sharp still out. Thible's out. Yeah, Portland are lacking. OKC should pump them. So SGA over 31.5, I'm a little bit hesitant on. It probably doesn't stay close. So you have to look at someone on the bench. AJ Mitchell could potentially have a strong game. He scored 21 points against Portland last time. Has been under this line in 5 straight games, though. So the bounce back from AJ Mitchell never came. The bastard. But Isaiah Joe, he's been performing quite well. He scored 14 last time against Portland. He made 3 3-pointers. With the blowout, likely to see some extra minutes. On paper, the matchup's not the best, but Portland are depleted. They don't have as good defenders out there on the court. So someone like an Isaiah Joe could have a good scoring game. And for Portland, Denny Advia, you could only expect his usage rate to be through the roof with all the bodies that they're missing. 26 points last time against OKC. He was 5 for 17. He did have 9 assists and 10 rebounds. Almost got a triple-double against them. So the PRA could be a look. The risk here is the blowout. If there's a blowout, he's not going to see time. But if this game is somehow close, I would not be surprised if Denny Advia flirts with a triple-double once again here against OKC, because he's been doing everything as a late with all the bodies they're missing. 10-plus assists in 2 straight games. Rebounding okay. Scoring somewhat consistently. So Denny Advia, I know the matchup sucks, but he's got the highest line he's had all season, despite having the hardest matchup he's had all season. And that's because of how good he's been playing lately. So Denny Advia is an interesting one. So it's like, do you believe in Denny or do you believe in OKC's defense? If you lean either way, then you know how to bet that guy. Oh, God, I apologize for sniffling so much. We're getting better, I think. We got the Spurs versus Suns. Nothing stands out to me in this particular game. The Suns have found hard to bet all season. I bet on Devin Booker in his last game. He had one of the worst ones he's had it was his worst game all season, but the worst one he's had in a very long time. 4 from 18. My God. Could be a nice bounce back spot against the Spurs. Their defense has gotten a little bit worse with no Wembanyama. Who else have we got here? And then from the Spurs, Jaron Fox. You'd expect him to do everything, right? He's been really consistent scoring the ball. His matchup against Phoenix is somewhat difficult. They limit points to transition and pick and roll ball handlers. But with the amount of people that San Antonio Spurs are missing, Castle, Harper, their two guards, and Victor Wembanyama, their star player, De'Aaron Fox's usage rate is just through the roof. 27% so far this season. So he's going to see a whole lot of ball, a lot of action, points and assists potentially. But these lines do seem they seem somewhat correct if you ask me. But at the same time, he could overperform. We've got Devin Vassell, who's supposed to be stepping up as their second leading scorer, but he's not doing it. It's Keldon Johnson. Keldon Johnson's been pretty good as of late. Since the injuries happened, his minutes have gone up. He's been performing extremely well, but he has been very efficient. I will call that out. So there's going to be a spot for regression at some point. Could it be this game against Phoenix? Potentially, but his line hasn't moved too much. He scored 25 against Atlanta. Following game here against Phoenix, they've kept his line the same, 14.5. His rebound line has moved up a little bit though. So this was 5.5 and 6.5. Finish on 7. Now the line's at 7.5. It's interesting because he didn't perform in a way that moves this line upwards, whereas he scored really well. They didn't move his points line up. What does that mean? I don't know. Keldon Johnson's lines are decently high, but you might want to just combine points and rebounds, and boom, Bob's your uncle. Ever since Victor Wembanyama went down, he's been covering this line with ease. So Keldon Johnson, you might want to look at his points and rebounds. And then the last game, we've got the Lakers versus the Jazz. What are we thinking? These guys just played each other. The Lakers got the win. This was 5 days ago. The Lakers haven't played in 5 days. LeBron's going to be super strong. Lauri Markkanen scored 31 in that game. Dished out 2 assists. So I wouldn't be surprised if Lauri Markkanen puts it together on him once again. He was somewhat efficient, but volume is there. Keontae George, he had a great game with 34 points. Far out. High-scoring game, no defense. Keontae George played well, covered his points, covered his assists, covered his rebounds. He did it all. Ace Bailey, he covered his points. Look at this fella. 13 points, no rebounds. Collier assists. Only had 6 assists last time against the Lakers. 14 potentials, though. Line at 6.5 at plus money. Collier assists could be decent. It's still a home game for Utah as well. I will call that out. I think this Lakers game has a lot of potential, actually. Nurkic, he scored 10 points against the Lakers last time. 4 from 5. Extremely efficient. But Nurkic rebounds and assists could be something that I get after. He's had 10-plus rebounds in 6 consecutive games. And he's been doing very well hitting his assist prop as well. So that's not too bad. For the Lakers, I don't know what the Lakers are going to do. LeBron's in. He's going to slowly soak up more usage over time. Luka scored 37 in their last game against Utah. Of course he did. And he was only 2 for 10. So he could have done a lot better. Wasn't very efficient. So Luka to go crazy scoring the ball. He still managed to get 10 assists too. Austin Reeves had 26. Austin Reeves only had 4 potential assists. That could be interesting with LeBron back. Got some rebounds though. So DeAndre Ayton's got a good matchup to score. He's scored 20. It was 10 for 13. So this is targeting the Yusuf Nurkic matchup. I would not be surprised if DeAndre Ayton covers his points prop either. He's strong on the glass as well. So yeah, look, a lot of the looks in this game look good, but they just played each other 5 days ago. I don't know what the adjustments are, but yeah, it's very interesting. So I'm going to see how these lines move overnight, lock something in, and hopefully have an excellent day. But look, that's the end of the video, guys. I appreciate you've made it this far. As always, like, subscribe to the channel. Doing this every single day for you. I know the bets haven't been the best as of late, but it is a long season, and I promise you, things will get better because they always do. But make sure you gamble responsibly. I wish you the absolute best of luck if you're betting on this game. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Sub to the channel cause your boy's getting busy. Coming to your line from the west side of Sydney. We've got the free picks and the juice on the daily. It's all free, you don't even have to pay me.